Well, hello there, everybody. It is 11:11. So I am so thankful that all of us are here to celebrate High Energy Day. Hey, David Castle, how you doing, brother? Just got you and read your email before I went here. So going to definitely say yes. And Robert, well, there's just a lot of emails. So absolutely. And so I think I got all the buttons right now. Let's see. There I am. Welcome everybody. How y'all doing? Uh Wanted to let you know that Sanji says hello as well. Now, this is what Brian Barnett, Milky Way. Um, and that's what we're named after, the Milky Way Soul Tribe. When he crossed over, he willed this to me, and it's an honor. It sits in a place of honor. And so, and it's, by the way, it's extremely heavy. It is one solid piece of crystal. And I'll give y'all some of the looks at Sanji. Hey, how y'all doing, man? It's 1-1. So he's actually got ears, as you can see, and smart guy. So Sanji, always ride shotgun. That's all I got to say. Hey, Lost in Space, Eyes of the Maelstrom. How you doing, Guy and Palm? Much love to y'all. Martin and Heidi, much love to you and Tony and David Castle, along with Rufus. David Barry, how are you, brother? So good to see you. I was thinking about you the other day. Interesting. And there's Big Al, and I gather you're on the way to see Miss Trina with Perry, right there on his right side, left side. I don't know. He's on his side anyway. Hey, Twilight Traveler, how you doing? Linda, good to see you. Much love. James, hello. Jules? Yeah, exactly, Jules. Gotta love Sanji. Seriously, this is this thing is powerful. I got to tell you, I'll be writing or something and I'll look up and it's like, are you talking to me? It's like, it's, this office is this inundated. Hey, Valid Brian, how you doing? Very cool, Chris. Yes. Thank you, Jackie. Yeah, it's cool. Thank, our brother Brian. Janie, good to see. Project Skies Falls, how you doing? Regina, Trusica, good to see you. James, Lady T, Lucky Stone, how you doing, my brother? Good to see you. Troublesome 93. So I just want to speak favor. Happy birthday, Franny. We love you, darling. 24. And there's so much more. Old man, take a look at my life. Yes, Franny, enjoy the day, girl. 24, cool age. I really enjoyed when I was 24. Have I ever grown up past 24? I don't know. The spirit never ages, so it's hard to see. So what else has happened? Hello, San Diego, Waves of Art. How you doing? Robert V is in the house. Robert, going to have you on, and I'll get to your email. Yeah, I have to locate all of those there books, but I'll get them to you, brother. You can count on that. Brian, 1958, how you doing? Source Frequency. I tell you what, Deborah Sloan, so good to see you. I think Deborah Truax is in the house as well. Kelly, what's up? Karen Lynn, good to see you. I tell you, I'm digging it. Digging the energy. I mean, David, I read your email, David Castle, right before I got on, and far out, hadn't got no sleep, huh? Lots of downloads. So like to get you on with Trina and I on Tuesday. So I'll just throw that out there just to let you know. So I got to, by the way, I'll get this out. Happy birthday if you got one or having one. We all have one, but if it's today, you know what I mean. And folks, we are prospering tonight on the Steiger Perspective, artistfirst.com, 10 p.m. Eastern. Then find your time zone, tune in. The theme tonight is shut up and suffer some more. All right, I got to tell you, folks, there is something going on with these angels. And I want to read you. I can't show the email because I don't have permission. The one thing I hold very sacred is everyone's privacy. But I also want to share something that is, Martin and Heidi, I got that. Thank you. Like I said, I tuned in late turning on the email because I was writing. So I'm looking forward to that. Mr. Floyd, how are you doing? Emperor Rex, good to see you. Shannon, hello, my love. Good to see you. So I want to read this to you. So I'm going to read this as it came to me. And this, I don't have a problem saying who it's from. It's Farzana Parveen. They live in Bangladesh. Folks, we got Soul Tribe members all over the world. It says, Dear Wayne, I am just loving all your shows. Well, thank you very much. Honored. I have learned so much from them, and now my life is really starting to change. I want to thank you wholeheartedly for that. I have been calling Ariel for the last 8 days, and guess what? My husband just received US dollars 94,500 in bonuses from his office. We live in Bangladesh, and this is a huge amount for us. I mean, that's just right. Wow, right? I mean, it's just far out. This money will help us will help us a lot to have a better future for our children. So thank you so very much, dear friend. Well, I just got to say, Farzanza, much love to you. Thank you for sharing that, folks. If I am keeping proper count, and I believe I am, we're well over $225,000 amongst this group, probably more, because that is just amazing. I mean, and I like I wrote down here, I said, I don't know what is taking place where these angels, helpers, messengers, whatever you want to call them, something is happening and there's no denying it. I mean, we talk about we're prospering, and Poel is the angel of fortune and support. It is Deus Flucens Amanea, the patron of renown and celebrity, protector of positive thinkers, brings fortune and wealth on every level of our life. And it appears, it's just my observation, I could be wrong, but it appears that just acknowledge them by name invokes this favor from them to us. This is card 56, by the way. And then in the 72 Angels of Magick, it's in there as well. Helps to express yourselves clearly and simply, allows us to find new ideas connected with self-development, and the symbol of luck, hope, power, and knowledge, bestows us with modesty, empathy, and simplicity and humility. And yeah. And then we have Ariel, angel of revelations, Deus Revelator, patron of meditation and people gifted with clairvoyance, clairascendence, and clairaudience. This angel helps find fortune for you. Anyway, as they would say, something going on. That's all I got to say. I just read them as they come in. What can I say? And speaking of the angel card, we have Elamaya. And this is card number 4. If those of you who have the deck, and I'd really tell you, I ought to get Big Owl is getting close to ours being done. Am I right on that, Big Owl? Jules says she's got her A team going today. All right. So this is an angel of divine power and authority. Deus, Abscadeus, the hidden God. And didn't we have yesterday the God hiding in darkness? Patron of the esoteric arts, symbol of great force of will in the areas of transformation, teaches how to make decisions and find life purpose, shows how to explore life's paths, delivers righteousness, fairness, and justice, guides us out of difficult periods of our life, helps to discover professional orientations, fills you with a sense of initiative and a mind for business, guides students, leads to success in projects and business affairs, honors any commitment related to work, provides with knowledge, skills, and abilities in the fields of divinity arts, shows how to make peace with people who betrayed us, carries us away from things that have a negative impact on our development. I love these angels. Tell you, I'm loving this neighborhood. And they got property. Protects from suffering and diabolic powers. Wow. Keeps away from enemies and traitors. Helps pessimistic thoughts, destructive tendency, inertia. Helps in situations like exhaustion, when you feel limited, failures in professional career, bankruptcies. Yeah. An abuse of power that's used against you. I love these angels. Anyway, so I was going to get on with the transhumanism, but I got a number of emails, people saying, would you please continue with that Lucifer reading? And it was interesting. Lynn and I talked about it. And one of the things, as I was telling her, I had to stop in mid-sentence and we were having dinner. And I said, that thing said we were images, not people, not spirits, not souls, although he seems to be collecting. And then remember, it's heavily inundated in the Christian theology. Fine. We're smart enough and adapt enough that we can find out if there's any jewels, and apparently there are. But he calls us images. We're not people. We're not being. Apparently, we are just an image. We are nothing more than that which is seen in a mirror. His words, not mine. Now, do I believe this? Listen, I enjoy reading it. I have found some interesting things that find it difficult. For instance, I track the moon. And particularly in September, going into October, when we had September, we had 2 full moons. The wobble of the earth was incredible. One night it would be more into the southeast sky. The next night it was rising in the northeast sky. Cuckoo, cuckoo, karakachaka. Love is strange. Anyway, the Black Mirror, John, I like that. The bringer of light. So let's check this out. I read a little bit ahead of this, and get ready, folks. Take from it what thou shalt, because you're on your own. That's all I got to tell you. You're on your own, man. Chapter 3, Hollow Moon. Lucifer, the light bearer, strange and mysterious name to give to the spirit of darkness. Lucifer, son of the morning, is he who bears the light, and with its splendor intolerably blinds feeble, sensual, and selfish souls? Doubt it not. Albert Pike. And here I just wanted to outline it for us to really get into the focus on this. Images never landed on the moon. Your best and brightest have only ascended to a maximum low Earth orbit. That's a proper acronym, LEO, of 1,200 miles. High Earth orbit is unobtainable. 22,236 miles is the fictitious distance of a geosynchronous satellite orbits the fictitious planet. Unfortunately, such an altitude would submerge all satellites in the vast ocean positioned above the sea firmament dome. Now, we launch a lot of rockets, we launch a lot of satellites, and we launch a lot of probes. So, that's all I got to say. I mean, I'm not saying that there isn't, but hey, Voyager is now in interstellar space. It has sent us pictures of us, kind of our own selfie, Hey, baby, smile. Anyway, we continue. Images refer to this layer of the atmosphere as the thermosphere. Temperatures in this part of the second heaven can reach 4,000 degrees. Yet somehow 25,000 satellites and 370,000 pieces of space junk haven't melted or crashed, all while simultaneously orbiting the Earth ball at 22,000 miles per hour. Your childlike faith in astrophysics is breathtaking. It's a condescending prick, you got to admit. I mean, it's like, hey, up yours, man. All right. Even the origin of the word satellite is steeped in the annals of a prolific science fiction writer who had his fictional word co-opted by the space program. In truth, more humorous every time I say it, the truth. Satellites only circumvent the first heaven of the third dimension below the sea firmament dome. Everything is to scale. Because the sun and moon are in close proximity to the flat Earth, satellites orbit from an altitude of 1,200 miles, 2,300 miles below the sea firmament dome. By their own admission, the International Space Station conducts all of its missions in a low Earth orbit. That is true. We don't have anything in space. It's still in our atmosphere, but anyway, numbers. The orbital speed necessary to maintain a stable low flight Earth orbit is 4.8 miles per second. Relatively slow when compared to the speed of light, which is 186,000 miles per second, 38,193 times faster than the ISS. A mere crawl when compared to my minions who travel at the speed of thought. Astrophysics postulates that the moon doesn't rotate because the gravitational pull of the Earth paralyzes it into a fixed stationary position. Now, this is something I have to say has always bugged me because it defies the laws of physics. You can't stay static like that and have it holding up there. So why is it? And then they go so far to say, well, yeah, it is. It's just that you don't see it. Bullshit. No, it don't. It do this. All right. Truth be told, the moon is hollow, flat, translucent, crystalline, self-illuminating disk, one that generates a unique type of cold light. During a full moon cycle, the luminaries can be seen shining through the moon disk, confirming its translucent composition. I don't know. Genesis 1, verse 16 says, God made two great lights, the sun and the moon, to shine down upon the earth. Now, that's a little troubling because in one case, if he's comparing the sun and the moon as one and the same, which the wording says that, well, we got a problem here, Houston. Anyway, the book of Enoch, chapter 60, says how the portals of the winds are reckoned, each according to the power of the wind and the power of the lights of the moon. So I was taught that because of the composition of the surface of the moon being primarily dust, but containing high amounts of H3, that it's merely reflecting either off of the sun or the earth. But here it's saying the lights of the moon. On Earth, the temperature of radiated moonlight is always colder than its adjusted moon shadow. If moonlight was the result of sun rays reflecting off Earth, then the illuminated moonlight reflecting back onto the Earth should be warmer. Moonlight is colder, proving it projects its own light. I swear this is like taking a hit of acid. The book of Enoch, chapter 77, verse 4 and 5 says, in the orb of the sun, there is a seventh portion of the light, which is added to it from the moon. By measure, it is put in until a seventh portion of light of the sun is departed. They enter into the western gate, circuited by the north, and through the eastern gate go forth over the face of heaven. When the moon rises, it appears in heaven, and the half of the seventh portion of lights is all which is in it. Wow. Okay. The same, well, our instruments don't record that. But anyway, in essence, the sun transfers or puts in 1/7 of the light into the moon, where it is stored, illuminated, and eventually extinguished upon completion of its phase cycle. The moon does not reflect the sun's light from its exterior surface. Rather, it projects moonlight from its translucent interior, repeating the cycle again and again ad infinitum. The book of Enoch, chapter 77, verse 12-13 says, Ariel likewise showed me another regulation. When light is poured into the moon, how it is poured into it from the sun, all the time that the moon is in progress with its light. It is poured into it in the presence of the sun until its light is in 14 days completed in heaven. Well, my mind says, well, of course there's light. It's in the way of the sun, right? Okay. The 78th chapter, verse 10 says, and Ariel showed me another law. When light is transferred to the moon, and on which side it is transferred to her by the sun. And something just told me, well, remember now, we are not dealing with creatures, beings that deal in the same laws of physics of this realm. They seem to have a different set of rules, which apparently supersede our rules, which if you follow it, that would imply we would perceive it as magic or as God. And then there is the dark side of the moon. What the heck's up with that? One more thought to contemplate. If the geosynchronous moon is responsible for the tides, why doesn't it affect the Great Lakes? Because they're not directly connected to the flat earth oceans, therefore unaffected by the rising and falling of the floating flat earth. Well, Jake, I never really thought about that. An earth which is set upon the bosom of the great deep below. Inadorfa, remember when we read that, the man that started it all? That's what he said when he went down the caves right there in northwest Kentucky. Been there. Strange vibration in that part of the country. Go through there at night when you're having to make a sales call and you got to be back in Nashville early in the strange stuff. That's all I got to say. So why isn't it affecting the Great Lakes? The variation in tidal height is attributable to the different configurations of adjoining lands. The ball Earth theory believes the moon's gravity overpowers and controls 70% of the Earth's surface. All the while, the Earth's gravity holds the moon in a stationary position. Now that's faith. Okay. Let's go through this one more time again. So we say that the moon has tidal effect, gravitational effect on the Earth's oceans, but yet lakes like the Great Lakes and what have you are unimpeded by it. Okay. At the same time, we're saying that the reason why the moon isn't spinning is that because the Earth's gravity has got it captured. But wait a minute. Okay, moving on. The sun and the moon rotate clockwise below the sea firmament dome as the moon alternately evenly below and above the sun. During the day, the blue sky is visible through the dark part of the waxing or waning moon. Since the 15th century, there have been 50 eclipses featuring the sun and moon above the horizon. Impossible if ball Earth cast its shadow on the moon. With an equatorial circumference of 6,783 miles, the sun and the moon are the same size. It's the reason they look the same during an eclipse. Your eyes are not deceiving you. That's my job. Again, in Enoch, chapter 77, verse 3 says, these are the two great luminaries. Their circumference is like the circumference of the heaven, and the size of the circumference of both is alike. Okay. I love this stuff. Are we smarter than this? I mean, this has just been recently done. So, I mean, is he mocking us? Is he telling us our technology, our AI is all a bunch of nonsense? Don't know. There are three types of day: solar, sidereal, and lunar. The solar day is the 24-hour clock, as in 24 hours in a day, 365 days per year. The sidereal day is the true measurement of a day, 23 hours, 56 minutes, and 4 seconds. Each day, there is a difference of 3 minutes and 56 seconds between the solar and the sidereal day. Over a 4-year cycle, this daily imbalance equals 1 full day. Hence the extra leap year day added to the calendar every 4 years. Actually, this is one fact that the ballers and flatties can agree upon. In my youth, ballers had a moving right on along. During the 24-hour cycle, the sun will move approximately 15 degrees per hour. A 24-hour cycle times 15 degrees equals 360 degrees. Here's where it gets interesting. During the 24-hour cycle of a lunar day, the moon will move at a rate of 14.5 degrees per hour. 348 degrees in a 24-hour day. Okay. A deficit of 12 degrees per day. 360 degrees in 30 days. Over a 30-day cycle, the sun will complete one additional cycle around my flat Earth. 12 cycles per 12 months. The Book of Secrets of Enoch, chapter 16 says, Those men showed me the other course, that of the moon, 12 gates, crowned from west to east, by which the moon goes in and out of the customary times. In theory, if there's one phenomenon that could disprove the flat earth theory, it's meteorites, though this is not really true. Meteorites are scattered debris floating freely within the sea firmament dome. Occasionally, a meteor will violently pierce the dome and fall rapidly through the thin atmosphere of the first heaven into the third dimension. The proof is found in the composition of the meteorite. Pyroxene, plegiocese, and olivine are the three primary minerals found in both meteors and seabed of ocean floors. Apparently, there is an ocean above and below. As above, so below. Another piece of anecdotal evidence is the meteoritic origins of the Liberian desert glass, of the great sand sea glass. Comprised of 98% molten silica, Libyan desert glass is the byproduct of a radioactive melting, molded at 3,636 degrees, which is the average temperature range of the thermosphere. Great sea glass are broken pieces of the sea firmament dome that have fallen to the flat earth. Molten glass? I'm sure I've read about that before. In fact, we're finding it all over the planet. I don't know what. How in the world do you melt sand, silica, in different regions all over the world? What happened? Job 37:18 says, "Hast thou stretched out the heavens, which is strong and as molten glass?" Below the sea firmament dome, the sun and moon revolve clockwise 3,500 miles above the flat earth. Not 93 million miles, 238,000 miles respectively. Astronauts haven't officially returned to the moon since 1972. Of course, they were never there in the first place. Over the years, the copy and paste astrophysicists have run out of magic tricks. Non-existent ball planets don't rotate around non-existent fireballs trillions of miles away. The physical truth hides in plain sight. For example, the moon's Tycho crater is visible to the naked eye, yet it's only 53 miles wide. Now, Lynn and I went outside and looked at the moon last night, and I said, I've seen pictures from the ISS, and when they take pictures of the moon, it looks like it is way out there, 225,000 miles, supposedly. But yet, as I was explaining to her, if you do the experiment, if I were to be, let's say, on Pikes Peak and held up a basketball, at what point, if you're on the ground, would you be able to see my basketball? You wouldn't. That's a problem, but this is the same comparison. How are we seeing something with the naked eye that is supposedly 225,000 miles and has the distance of 53 miles wide? Impossible to see if the moon were 38,000 miles away. The static moon appears upside down when viewed from the southern hemisphere because the moon never changes perspective. Only you do. The book of Enoch, section chapter 72, verse 1 says, "The book of the courses of the luminaries of heaven, the relations of each according to their classes, their dominion, and their seasons, according to their names and places of origin, and according to their months, which Ariel, the holy angel, who was with me, who is their guide, showed me all their laws exactly as they are, and how it is with regard to all the years of the world." Now, I always found this interesting when Patrick Garrett and I were doing the Talking with the Planets. Was that show ahead of its time? Wow. I mean, we were breaking some territory there. This is kind of confirming it. We were most likely, if you follow this train of thought, we were actually in contact with the luminaries themselves. And that's what it really felt like. It felt like physical personalities. 1 Corinthians 15:41 says the sun has one kind of splendor, the moon another, and the stars another. The stars differ from the stars in splendor. Well, I did not know that. Another deception is cell phone towers communicating to non-existent high-orbiting satellites 22,236 miles in space. Let's examine the satellite-cell phone relationship. You've been programmed to believe that when a phone call is made, the cell signal is connected to a localized cell tower, which transmits your signal to a satellite, sending the signal to the closest localized tower of the cell phone receiver and connecting to the cell phone receiver. Actually, that's half accurate. The cell phone functions by communicating with towers connected to a base station in the configuration called a cell. As you move through the cell, the base station monitors your cell phone signal, transferring it to the nearest ground tower. Measuring the signal strength differences between multiple cell towers determines your cell location. All cables originating from the cell tower are underground, and all international calls are made via fiber optic cables connecting to land-based cell towers in that particular country. So think about it. If there were 25,000 satellites cloaking the planet from 22,236 miles in space, cell phone and Wi-Fi dead spots wouldn't exist. Dead spots are the result of the flat Earth not having 100% land-based cell phone tower coverage. Chapter 4, flat and sunny. I would rather have questions that can't be answered than answers that can't be questioned. Richmond Feynman. I love that. 3,500 miles above my flat Earth, the localized sun dictates the day, night, and seasons. Because of its close proximity, the sun functions like a spotlight. You've been correctly programmed to believe that it's always daytime somewhere on the Earth, just not in the heliocentric sense. In truth, the sun moves away from your limited horizontal perspective, rising in the east and setting in the west, determined by your stationary flat Earth line of sight. When the sun rises, it appears from the eastern vanishing point of human perspective. As it sets, the sun disappears from the western vanishing point of human perspective. So I have friends that are pilot, and it's interesting because I wrote them and I said, no, wait a minute. I have one in particular that works for a major airline. I said, so your horizontal viewfinder on your cockpit, I said, how important is that? Wrote him and he wrote back. He said, well, it's probably the most important gauge in your cockpit. And in exchanging of our thoughts back and forth, he pointed out that it's true. The horizon is, it's not what we if you're not a pilot, to perceive what it is. The horizon actually never changes. It's your perspective. And that's, again, what was written, as you all remember, the first chapter. So yeah, during its 12-month cycle, the localized sun moves back and forth from the Tropic of Capricorn to the Tropic of Cancer. It's 23.5 degrees southern and northern variation, determines the seasons. I must admit, the deception of a tilted round ball creating winter, spring, summer, and fall is one of my better lies. Is he lying or is he telling the truth? Because eventually, a lie, what is a lie? A distortion of the truth, the antithesis of the truth. But then it gets into a difficult discussion, then what is truth? What is a lie? Yeah. Um, Flat sunbeams appearing on the ocean just after sunrise and before sunset confirm the surface is flat. The sun, smaller and localized. I understand I ain't buying that, but okay. Similar to the forward motion of a clock, the sun circumvents the outer edge of the flat Earth's extreme perimeter. Here, at the convergence of the third and fourth dimensions, are 12 gates of Antarctica. Each gate is 5,000 miles apart, creating a 60,000 mile aggregate circumference, of which the sun traverses every 12 months. My flat Earth is a lot bigger than you realize. I've shown you that one picture of the concept that the whole universe or our galaxy is literally just right next door. It's right up over that ridge. Y'all want to go and let's go check it out? They say we can never get there. They say you end up meeting yourself coming and going. Is that where that term? I don't know. All right. The book of Enoch, chapter 31, verse 2 says, to the east of these beasts, I perceived the extremities of the earth, where heaven ceased. The gates of heaven stood open, and I beheld the celestial stars come forth. I numbered them as they proceeded out of the gate, and wrote down their names altogether, their times and their seasons, as the angel Ariel, who was with me, pointed them out to me. I purposely hid my symbols in plain sight. For example, the yin and yang symbol illustrates the path of the sun and moon around my flat earth. Did you know that? I didn't. Only one evolutionist could immerse himself in such a grand deception. Flat Earth is comprised of four elements: fire, water, earth, and air. Spiritually and electronically, there are 7 luminaries or sentient deities in the universe: Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, Sun, Venus, Mercury, and the moon. 7 metals influence the 7 luminaries. Gold affects the sun and sense of self. Silver corresponds to the moon. Water equals growth and emotions. Copper is to Venus magic, arts, and music. Mars is iron, violent energy, and psychic ability. Tin reflects Jupiter, health, and religion. Mercury is to alchemy, the Kabbalah, and astrology. Saturn emits lead, karma, and age learning. Wow. How about that one? 7 days a week, 7 gateways in an image: 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 nostrils, and the mouth. 7 is the Ancient of Days' favorite number, and this is reflected in his images. Ironically, most redeemed images embrace half of the evolutionary theory without giving it a second. It just freaking hit me. So we are 7. Just hit me. I get the idea now of the image, what's being said here. Just whoop, went right there. Yeah. Okay. Without giving it second thought, images evolving from monkeys? Ridiculous. Images residing on a ball that spins at 1,000 miles per hour? Absolutely. The biggest proponents of the heliocentric theory are the atheistic evolutionists and redeemed images. Strange bedfellows indeed. The debate surrounding the shape of the earth could be easily resolved by flying over the South Pole. Images make you believe they have been to the moon. Yet there are no images of someone having flown over the South Pole. Why? It doesn't exist. And it's illegal. Okay. All flights over the fictional South Pole were banned in 1958. This is what is known as the Nation-State Treaty. It's the only geopolitical topic that the UN can agree upon. The International Maritime Organization, World Meteorological Organization, International Civil Aviation Organization, and the Air Map of the World all display a flat Earth flag, adding a layer of Masonic intrigue. The flat UN flag is divided into 33 Freemasonry sections. Although the South Pole doesn't exist, there is an Antarctica, just not in the Helsinki sense. Antarctica's inner ocean frozen border wall bulkhead is over 200 feet in height, a 360-degree circumference covering 60,000 miles and containing the oceans of my flat Earth. At the end of Antarctica's vast interior territory, the flat Earth plane intersects the precipitous of the sea firmament dome, which is also where the first heaven of the third dimension ends, and the second heaven of the fourth dimension begins. It's titillating reading, is it not? The North Pole is at the center of the flat Earth. Not surprisingly, the Arctic region is much warmer than Antarctica. The highest recorded temperature in Antarctica is 9 degrees below zero. If the Earth were a ball with a somewhat identical North and South Pole, their climate should be similar. Summer temperatures in the Arctic can reach into the 80s, while at the same Antarctic latitude, the temperatures stay below zero all year. The North Pole is magnetically charged, a toroidal vortex ring generated by a closed rotating curve, which generates tidal fluctuations, located at the center of the flat Earth. The North Pole's massive hole produces a vacuum, and the toroidal vortex ring that extends from the surface of the flat Earth into the black cube of hell. That doesn't sound like a good place. This is a temporary holding cell for the dark angels. The northern lights emanate from the black sun located at the heart of hell, which is 3,600 miles deep. Wow. So who's got knowledge on the black cube of hell? Now, I know where it's written, particularly in the book of Revelation and other places in the Bible where they put these angels, these fallen angels. Okay, the book of Jude, chapter 1, verse 6 says, and the angels were kept not their first estate, but left their own habitation. He has reserved in everlasting chains under darkness of the judgment of the great day. Let me just say something. I'm going to repeat this because someone wrote this and it's true. This is a bunch of fear factor shit. I mean, it's just crap. But, the idea is to get you, as a slave mentality. My attitude is I'll take you on one-on-one. I don't care what these deities are. I'll take you on one-on-one. I haven't yet had one take me up on it, because I'm going to kick their ass like I did the last time I kicked their ass. Anyway, I digress. The book of Enoch 18:15 says, then the angel said, this place until the consummation of heaven and earth will be the prison of the stars and the host of heaven. The stars which roll over fire are those which transgressed the commandment of God before their time arrived, for they came not in their proper season. Therefore, he is offended with them and bound them until the period of the consummation of their crimes in the secret year. Let me just say this. If I had to live in this place with this demiurge, this thing called God, I'm on the rebellion side, man. This thing is messed up. It's crazy. It's a megomaniac ego. Maybe that's why I'm here. Maybe I am a fallen angel. Maybe you are. In the book of Enoch, chapter 18, verse 3, and in the columns of heaven I beheld fires, which descended without number, but neither on high nor into the deep. Over these fountains also I perceived a place which had neither the firmament of heaven above it, nor the solid ground beneath it. Neither was there water above it, nor anything on wing, but the spot was desolate. Yeah. Allow me to paint a picture of my early kingdom. Well, by all means do. From above, my flat earth resembles a frisbee with an exterior frosted edge. 3,500 miles above the surface is the sea firmament dome enclosing the flat earth. Hell is 3,600 miles below the frisbee. Too much? The book of Enoch, chapter 18 says, I saw the treasures of all the winds. I saw how he had furnished with them the whole creation and the firm foundation of the earth. And I saw the cornerstone of the earth. I saw the four winds, which bear the earth and the firmament of heaven. And I saw how the winds stretched out the vaults of heaven and have their station between heaven and earth. These are the pillars of the heavens. I saw the winds of heaven, which turn and bring the circumference of the sun and all the stars to their setting. I saw the winds of earth carrying the clouds. I saw paths of the angels. I saw at the end of the earth the firmament of the heaven above. Well, that ain't sounding like our planet. That might be an idea. Is what we're hearing, is it possible that what we're hearing is maybe a story from another dimension, that they're describing what happened in that dimension and then trying to bring it over? I don't know. But there was always something in the book of Revelation where apparently when the fourth seal is broken and the angels that are the lords of the four corners of the earth, of the four winds, and they are commanded by the chief seraphim who says, let there be no wind upon earth. And I believe it goes on to say in that particular section of scripture, it became real hell on earth. Now, if that was to happen in our current perspective of physics, that's a bad day. That means the earth has stopped spinning. And that's when we read, Chan's book, Adam and Eve. The book of Enoch, chapter 33, 34 says, and to the east of those beasts I saw the ends of the earth whereon the rest and the portals of heaven open. And from thence I went towards the north to the ends of the earth. And there I saw a great and glorious device at the ends of the whole earth. At the ends, isn't that interesting? Pearl, meaning more than just one end. The book of Enoch, chapter 50 says, and in those days shall punishment come from the Lord of spirits. Who is the Lord of spirits? And since it's a capital E, this is some deity, will open all the chambers of waters which are above the heavens, and the fountains which are beneath the earth. And all the waters shall be joined with the waters, that which is above, and the heaven and how interesting, will be joined with the waters. That which is above the heaven is masculine, and the water which is beneath the earth is feminine. and they shall destroy all who dwell on the earth and those who dwell under the ends of the heaven. So is there a race of beings that we're not aware of? I mean, you clearly get the distinction here that there's apparently another flood coming, right? But what's really odd is that, all right, dwells on the earth and those who dwell under the ends of the heaven. Sounds like there's another civilization somewhere on this planet. The heliocentric theory postulates a round earth ball rotating through a cold, indifferent universe without reason, purpose, or hope. The Ancient of Days, oldest book, points to the truth. The geocentric theory is not a theory. Job 38:4 says, "Where were you when I laid the foundations of the earth? Tell me, if you know so much, do you know how its dimensions were determined and who did the surveying? What supports its foundation and who laid its cornerstone as the morning star sang together and all the angels shouted for joy?" Well, now we got the morning star here. So are we talking Lucifer? Or are we talking Jesus Christ? Are we talking Yeshua? Who are we talking about? And apparently this is a construction project, a construction zone. Reminds me Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. They're building the planet now. I remember the moment when I Am placed the massive cornerstone beneath my flat earth. In the beginning, before your beginning, the deed proclaimed morning star. Well, it's a good place for us to stop. Chapter 5, the glue of you. So what did Mr. Tesla say? If you want to know the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. I love it. Wild stuff, man. That's all I got to say. Some wild freaking stuff. And I got to tell you, I was thinking about this last night. You know, I was meditating and I was thinking, where does a mind go? I have someone who has volunteered to be, let's say, a conduit for Lucifer, which I find it. What's that up, Linda? Yes, when I was 9, I asked my grandpa, how can Lucifer and Jesus both be the bright morning star? Yeah, I mean, I'm totally confused on that one myself. Is this a case of split identity? I don't know. And so if that's the case, so if Lucifer wants to kill Jesus, or if Jesus wants to kill Lucifer, that's not a suicide situation. That's a hostage situation. Boom. You're welcome. Project Skyfall. Yeah, this is some wild stuff. I got to tell you. And we're so good with our imagination. So I've built this imaginary thought form. I mean, you know, it's a jerk. That's all I got to say. I mean, it's the kind you want to go up and just go, you know, you got a real chip on your shoulder. And it's the type of person looks around and says, yeah, what are you going to do about it? And then you lay hands on them. you speak peace into their life. I don't like that. Split personality. Yes. It's that spiritualness, you know. Oh, this is good stuff, man. It's good mind candy. I mean, it really is. We'll probably get it wrapped up maybe tomorrow, because now I want to find out about us. See, apparently us is not us. But you know what I do know? I do know that with our study of the Liber Lilith, I got her point of view. And I trust her more than I would this character. But he's fun. All right, folks. So, varying degrees of separation. Yes. See, I love this. So many different ones. Rob, how cool is that, buddy? That is freaking cool, dude. I'd like to talk to you more on that. All right, folks. This is good. Raven, there we go. Well, if November 18th is, we'll look into that. All right. Robert V, it is interesting stuff. I got to tell you what, you see, this is why you don't need to drink or anything like that, because, this stuff here, it gives you a high. So it's like you go, now, wait a minute, and then it challenges your cognitive stance. Why, who the hell does he think he is? Well, he's Lucifer, he's an asshole. Well, who says he's an asshole? Well, the other asshole. And by the way, I love the email. Thank you very much. That one person said they were going to do a graph of two butts with a head between the two. I think that's where we are, to be honest with you. I mean, and at some point you just get up and you say, I've had enough of this. All right, folks, have yourself a great day. Thank you all. This is a true pleasure in this journey, is these daily meetings that we have. I just love it. Thank you, Lost in Space. So have yourselves a fine day. Tune in tonight. I think you'll enjoy it. Thank you for the thumbs up. I understand that YouTube is doing away with the thumbs down. So there you go. They say it will make a more friendly place. Okay. I like friendly places. All right. See y'all tomorrow. Tune in tonight. If y'all tune in tonight, I won't see you, but you'll hear me. I don't see you now. All right. Much love, everyone. Peace be unto us all. Favor surround us. And